all know her as Rolling with Rhonda. Rhonda Brown has traveled across this country back and forth, up and down, sideways on her Harley Davidson she affectionately calls Poppy. I had a chance to catch up with her this past May when we both traveled to Woodstock, Illinois to participate in the Midwest Women Writers Get Your Groove On. We had such a good time. First of all, it's impossible not to have a good time with Rhonda, okay? We had such a good time that I made plans to travel up to Tennessee, where she has her RV parked by the French Broad River. It is such an idyllic situation that she has there. And I traveled there to meet her and to ride the areas, such good riding roads in that particular area. And Rhonda and I had many conversations, and a good hike, by the way, many conversations, but the one that I wanted to share with you was about helmets. Yeah, helmets. I've been struggling with a new helmet, and Rhonda shared a story with me that I want her to share with you too, that convinced me that I need to have more protection when I'm riding and that I should consider this full face helmet. Lean in and listen as I chat with Rhonda Brown. Rhonda Brown, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing tonight, Deb?
I'm okay. And, I feel so privileged. You just got back from your Alaska trip.
Yep, state number 49.
Alaska was my 49th state too. And yeah, and so we're both missing Hawaii, the 50th state.
Maybe
so
we can do that together.
I'm thinking road trip. It would be epic, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
It would be epic. So yeah, that is definitely when I saw your post, I said, oh, I've got to hit her up for a Hawaii trip.
What was your last lower 48?
Washington State.
Oh, okay. Mine was Rhode Island.
Oh, okay. Well, I had not done Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. Okay. So in June of 18, I think it was, I headed west to do that. And at the same time, that's when Paul met me out in Seattle, and we flew up to Anchorage, where we rented bikes. And everywhere you go in Alaska, there's this jaw-dropping scenery that. And how'd you like Seward? I really love that little town.
I did. And I don't know if you had the opportunity to do the aquarium there, but it was wonderful. That was my birthday day.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I don't think we did the aquarium.
Nice.
We were there when they were having that run up the mountain marathon.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I heard all the history of that. That's crazy because it's like straight up the hill.
Straight up the mountain is what it is.
They have paramedics and ambulances waiting.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. We got to the little town and couldn't even find a parking space to put the bikes. And I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? And then I look, and you see these little ant-like figures going up this mountain.
Oh my.
And I stopped someone and I said, what is going on? They said, and I forget what it's called. It's the mountain marathon or something like that. So anyway, when I started this solo chat, I thought I wanted to give viewers a takeaway. I want to spend 15, 20 minutes on one topic and take it away. So when you and I came to visit you this past summer, your snug little RV next to the French Broad River, which I guess now is flooded.
Well, it's drying out right now. I'm going to be able to move my RV back there on Wednesday. So I'm in North Carolina right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad you got out of there, got your RV out of there.
Well, somebody else, a friend did it for me while I was in Alaska. So the good friends like that are nice to have.
Oh, exactly.
I'm very blessed.
Well, it was a pretty rainy weekend when I was there. Yeah. You accused me of bringing it with me, and I've considered renting myself out to drought-ridden western states, maybe.
There you go. The rain follows me. Yeah.
Just pay me to ride through there. But we started talking about helmets, and I indicated, I wear this half helmet.
Right.
Now, when I had my accident in April 2012, I wasn't wearing a helmet. So I lost all these teeth, had about 15 staples in my head. So I do not advocate not wearing a helmet, but hey, for whoever's watching, you do you. You do you. But over the last year, I clocked about 24,000 miles from June to June. And I got tired of the wind, the rain, the dirt, and the heat in my face.
Bugs.
And bugs. Bugs. So you and I started talking about helmets, and you told me a little story. And I would like you to share that little story with the viewers who are going to be watching this as to why you chose the helmet you got.
Yes. Okay. I started traveling long distance full time on the road at the end of February 2018. Come June, I was up in New Hampshire, and I wouldn't really call it an accident because it was just me. I'd had a spill on my motorcycle, more than just an accident. At that time, I was wearing a 3/4 helmet that had a drop down visor like this, that I always had the drop down visor on too, if I had sunglasses on or not. And or riding glasses, whatever. And what happened is I was riding some back roads. I was up there for Laconia and took a spill because I basically locked up my brakes because the road had switched from pavement to really rough gravel. And so my bike kind of went that way, later down, and I kind of went that way. And I am pretty lucky, I think, to have had all my teeth and not a broken nose and my chin still. I'm going to show something. I'm going to put something up to the camera right now and show it. Any viewers that get like really grossed out easily, you might want to close your eyes for a second. I'm giving you warning now, but this is what I look like the next day.
I know, you showed me that picture and I thought, holy crap, that's just.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, the doctors from the ER room sent me away and just told me to put some salve on there every day.
And nobody talked about plastic surgery or anything?
Nothing. And fortunately, and I'm going to show you one more graphic picture, the moment of the accident. Okay, this is like minutes afterwards. So close your eyes if you don't like to see this, you folks. But that was me right there, right afterwards.
My God. And you were by yourself?
No. I had one person to me, fortunately.
Okay.
But they just told me to keep salve on it. Fortunately, my sister is a wound care nurse. Thank God. Because basically I went through probably just about a month where I had to, I guess they call it debray it, like you do burns, twice a day in the morning, which that means basically having to moisten it and totally remove that scab every morning and every night and actually get it down to bare skin again. And, I ride long distance. I had some friends that also ride long distance and do a lot of it that kept telling me, get a full face helmet, get a full face helmet, get a full face helmet. Well, this is my second one at this point. It's a Shui Neotech. I'm not, trying to advertise.
Right. No, we're not.
By any means.
Unless, of course, they want to sponsor us here.
Yeah, if they want to sponsor me, that'd be great. But I chose this one because I can integrate a Sena sound system or intercom system, and it's got the channels in it, and it's all right there. But the pros obviously is protection. And some of the things that you mentioned, weather, bugs, wind, sunburn. You can still get sunburned through this though.
Right. I think it was the rain and the wind and just the dirt. It wore me out because it was such a rainy summer. From May to July, I just hit some horrendous. Oh,
and it stings your face and everything if it's raining hard enough and you're having to ride in it. And you have to ride in it sometimes. If you're riding long distance, you just have to. There's not a choice.
Yeah, you will hit weather.
Yeah. Now, a few cons, and I'll comment my counters for those. Okay. Helmet hair. Yep, you get helmet hair. We all get helmet hair. Any helmet you're going to wear, you're going to get helmet hair.
Yeah.
And I am pro-choice. I mean, anybody can make their own choices. I'm not saying that, you know, you're a jerk if you're not wearing a helmet, or, you know, or that you lack intelligence if you're not wearing a helmet. I don't say that. I think everybody needs to make their own choices on here, but my choice is this, with good reason. And anyway, what really helps me is I put one of those sleeves on. I pull it down over and then I pull it over my
Right.
hair, and it really does help keep my hair better. When I take it off and I take that off and just run my fingers through it. I mean, people are always saying to me, you don't even look like you've been wearing a helmet. So
Well,
anyway,
you have that hairstyle. I kind of got the hairstyle too.
yeah, I
You
know,
can't
I
tell if
know.
my hair is messed up or
Yeah,
not.
I got a fat head style. Anyway.
Okay, here's my problem with those. I went and put one on shortly after I got back from visiting you. I went to a dealership, put one on, and I got just anxiety. I mean, I started sweating. I started hyperventilating.
Oh
I
my,
just can't stand all that stuff on me. I mean,
right.
did you have to get used to it?
You do. It takes a little bit of time to get used to. I'm sure some people do most. I do tend to get like a little claustrophobic, like this whole mask thing with COVID. I find myself, you know, getting up to walk outside of places that you have to wear them just so I can like catch my breath. You know,
Well, yeah, I've been,
you know. So
yeah.
anyway, but let me show you, like when you first get it, your face is going to be like this.
Yeah,
But
you want it
after
tight.
a while, and mine was, after a while, this kind of gets compressed a little bit, so you're not as, and people always ask me about the peripheral vision, but see, I can see all the way to here.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I can see that hand there and
Yeah.
here. I mean, obviously I have to turn my head a little bit more than like to look behind me than maybe with your helmet. Okay. The other thing is people talk about, aren't they hot? Yeah, they are hot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say they were a little hotter than a regular one. But if you get ones that have good ventilation, like this has an open close vent here, there's channels that blow air in the top of here and through my head here. I can open up this right here, which gives me a little extra help or air coming in through here.
Yeah.
And you know, I'll sometimes like crack that a little bit too. Or if I'm at a red light or stopped, I open it right up. Or sometimes I'll just, I prefer modulars for a full face, or I'll go like this. Now I know some people say modulars aren't as good as the fixed ones, but I like this because it gives me more flexibility. If I want to grab a drink, take a sip of water, and you know, I can just flip this up. I can flip it up to talk to people. I'll walk. I'm like the total biker nerd. I walk into the gas stations, use a bathroom, and I'll still wear this because
Me too.
I'm just wanting to gas and go, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I still have my fingerless gloves on when I'm doing all that stuff too.
Yeah,
I don't strip down, you know, the gear just to do that. What size is yours?
Mine is a medium. I got a big head apparently.
Well, I think the compromise I made is one of the 3/4 helmets. I think I can do that. I think I can do that. You apparently having my apparently having my teeth knocked out didn't convince me to go full face. I just can't. I just don't think I can.
Well, you know, maybe do it graduate like that. Go 3/4 for a while. You know what somebody else told me too, with when I went to getting used to this, and I did do it, is wear it around the house for an hour. And just, you know, do that a little bit to get kind of used to having it on.
Well, that's a good point. That's
you're in an air conditioned room, you know, wear it when you're not going to get overheated because you have it on, and so you don't get that panic attack kind of feeling.
Yeah, it was just plain and simple. I couldn't get it off fast enough, and the poor girl who was trying to help me, she was freaking out. So I don't know what that's about, but obviously it's not a good thing. And the other problem I'm having right now is there's not a lot of stock in the dealerships.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
I've been to a half a dozen dealerships in the Southeast trying to buy a helmet, and they just don't have enough to choose from. I mean, you can go online and you can look, but I can't try a helmet online.
Here's your area in different times when you're traveling. Now, when I actually got my first helmet, full face helmet, I went to a helmet store. That's all they had. It's rows and rows and rows of just helmets.
Yeah, where was that? Because we
It
have
was in
JP's.
upstate New York.
Oh, well, we have JP Cycles in Daytona, and they've probably got the most selection of helmets. But right now, they don't have a lot in stock. In fact,
Right.
before I rode up there, it's about a, I don't know, 180-mile round trip for me. I called and I said, be honest with me, do you have all these helmets in stock? And they said, no, we don't.
Right.
So we'll see. But before I take off on my next road trip, I'm going to have a new helmet. At least with a 3/4 helmet, I can have the shield that comes down and
Right.
protects me from the elements a little bit. So we'll see.
That will help. That will help. And
Well,
even your vision, because another thing you can do with that shield that goes over your eyes, put some of that Rain-X on it.
mhm.
So it will just kind of clear, and because sometimes you still, even with this, get the feeling like I wish I had a windshield wiper on my
Well,
helmet.
isn't that the truth? But I tell you, it's better than it coming in your face,
Right,
because
right.
my trip up to Woodstock for Ellie's function, that was the worst rain I've had to travel through
Yeah.
ever.
We had it a little bit our first day, but you did get it bad.
Well,
Yeah.
D and I hit the same storm. D hit it coming across from Mexico. Then it got to me as I was coming up. So that right there convinced me. It said, okay, I need a different helmet. I just need a
Oh,
different
just a
helmet.
little side note. 4 ladies were at the Barbarossa yesterday, and I saw them that were at Ellie's event.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No
that were from
kidding.
Illinois. They had ridden down to Tennessee to ride the Tail of the Dragon and all that.
It's a small world, really, the motorcycle community.
It is.
And one other thing. Oh, when your chin, do you have any scars from that?
No, I can feel it's nothing visible. I can feel a little scar tissue on one side, a little scar tissue lump, but nothing that's visible. Nobody would know, fortunately, because of my sister, not because of the doctors.
Well,
Or
and I
the
wanted to say that because I have this scar on my lip where one of my teeth came through my lip.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything about it in the emergency room because, well, think about it. It's emergency. It's not cosmetic.
Right.
But afterward, it developed such a scar. And I think if you're involved in something like that, you need to try to speak up and say, hey, I want to see somebody about, maybe
Right.
this not happening. So anyway,
Right.
so where are you off to next?
Well, I'm going to spend a little bit of time in this particular area: Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina. I'll probably stay here because I would like to make a visit home for this Christmas I missed last year, which is a little further north. And then once January hits, I'm headed to the Southwest and Mexico again, and just going to hang out where it's warm. And
Yeah, where it's warm.
we ride pretty much every day. I would like to spend a little more time here in Tennessee. I do enjoy making some trips. There goes my friend's son on his crotch rocket.
Oh, okay. That was a crotch rocket.
So anyway, yeah, so I'm kind of liking this area. I've been on the road for 3.5 years now, so I'm kind of feeling like I want someplace to be for a little bit, and where better to be than where people come to ride all the time. You got the Tail of the Dragon, you got the Blue Ridge Parkway, you got the Smoky Mountains. I mean, this is an area I'm drawn to. In fact, actually, the township my camper is in right now, Del Rio, Tennessee, and it's like nothing, like maybe population 50 or something. I don't know. It's tiny. It might not.
Yeah, it is tiny.
Tiny.
We stopped and got gas there, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
I rode through there in 2017. This is funny because I rode through it with somebody, and I actually said at that time, when we go back to here, my friend's house that I rode out from, when I come back, I want to see what that little town was that ran along the river. I never even knew the Barbarossa was there at that point in time. I said, I really liked that area, and I think I could see myself living around there. I mean, and so it was just a natural thing to be drawn there. And it's just so ironic because I didn't even think about it until I was talking to that person. They said, well, where exactly are you in Tennessee? I said, remember that town we rode through? And I said, I'd like to settle here. And he goes, no, you're not there. And I said, I am. I said, I didn't realize it till
Yeah.
right now, but I am.
It's a cute little town, and like you said, a lot of people go there. You're close to. In fact, we were close to there when we went to Virginia to ride the back of the dragon. That
Right.
have you done that?
No, I did the Devil's Backbone.
No, this is called the back of the dragon. In fact,
Yeah, I know. It's just a little north of here. I think
there's about
yeah.
6 different roads they call the Dragon's Claw, and it was a little gnarly, I have to say. Now, I'm a pretty experienced rider, but yeah, it was a little gnarly, but it was fun. I mean, very challenging road, technically challenging, and gorgeous scenery. But it's all good riding in there. I mean, some of the best.
You did the Rattler with me.
We did the Rattler in the Rain with Rhonda, which sounds like a Dr. Seuss title, you know. I went to do the Rattler in the Rain with Rhonda, and then
Rhonda.
we did. It was fun. And then coming into the little town of Del Rio, where the water was up over our floorboards. Yeah, that was crazy. But it was fun. I didn't realize
it was that deep when we went through it either. That was a little crazy.
It was an adventure. So, I really appreciate you joining me for this chat. I'm going to end our recording, but I don't want you to go away. So, okay. All right. Thanks.
All right.